Whitney Houston's final recording, a supernatural horror story inspired by true events. The tape. In 2023, Los Angeles audio engineer Marc Bailey was contacted through a private referral. A man named Roland Griggs arrived at his small home studio in Glendale with a mysterious object, an old, weathered reel-to-reel magnetic tape. The label on it, scrawled in fading black marker, read, "Whitney, final take, February 9th, 2012. Mark blinked. "Is this Whitney Houston?" Griggs nodded. "Her last session. This recording never made it to the public. Sony buried it. I need you to digitize and clean it up. No copies, no backups. Just one clean file. I'll pay you 10 grand. Mark hesitated. It felt wrong. But $10,000 and curiosity got the better of him. That night, he stayed alone at the studio. He carefully loaded the reel onto his analog setup and pressed play. The tape crackled. Hiss. Static. Then silence. Then a voice. Whitney. But not like her polished pop tracks. This was raw. No music, just her voice echoing through the room. The melody was slow, almost like a dirge. "She's waiting in the mirror. I can't outrun her eyes." Mark froze. The words weren't lyrics. They sounded like confessions. Suddenly, a low hum vibrated through the floor. His studio monitors began to flicker. Lights dimmed. Mark hit stop, but the tape kept spinning. Then Whitney's voice whispered, "Don't turn around. She knows you're listening." And just like that, it all stopped. Mark backed away for the console. What the hell was that? He ejected the tape and locked it in a metal drawer. But deep down, he knew. He wasn't done with it. The obsession. Over the next few days, Mark tried to forget. But at night, he'd hear soft humming, the same melody from the tape. Sometimes it came from his bathroom mirror. Sometimes from the baby monitor in his daughter's room, even though she wasn't home. He tried contacting Roland. The number was disconnected. The address he gave? Fake. On the fourth night, Mark gave in. He played the tape again, this time recording it onto his computer, carefully isolating each frequency. As he zoomed in on the audio spectrogram, he saw something impossible, a face. A woman's face formed in the waveform visualization. It looked like Whitney, but distorted. Eyes black, mouth stretched unnaturally wide. Mark froze. The face blinked. Then the speaker screamed, an inhuman shriek that shattered the left monitor. Marcus Yehon. Blood trickled down from his nose. He passed out. The studio files. Mark woke the next morning on the floor. The tape was gone from the drawer. In panic, he checked his hard drive. The digital file was still there, but the waveform had changed. It now read, "She's inside now." Mark called his old mentor, Vanessa Harper, a music historian who once worked with Whitney during her gospel years. Vanessa came over, skeptical, until she heard the file. She turned pale. "This isn't a recording session," she whispered. "This is a seance." She explained that Whitney's team had dabbled in spiritual practices near the end, desperate for inspiration. There were rumors of a woman in a red dress, a mirror spirit from New Orleans folklore, who promised fame in exchange for a final song. Whitney's mother allegedly forbade her from ever returning to that studio. Mark's hand shook. "You think this tape is cursed?" Vanessa nodded. "No. Worse. It's a channel, the mirror room." They traced the origin of the tape to a now-condemned recording space in East Hollywood called Echo Room B. It had been shuttered since 2012, the same week Whitney died. Against better judgment, Mark and Vanessa broke in. Inside, the studio looked untouched. Dusty microphones still hung from the ceiling, but all the mirrors were covered with red cloth. They found the original reel-to-reel deck, identical to Mark's, and beside it, a broken compact disc labeled, "The Last Take. Do not play." Mark couldn't help himself. He played the CD. This time, there was no voice, only a long silence. Then faint breathing. Then two voices layered over each other. One was Whitney. The other was not. I gave her the voice. She gave me the rest. Then the red cloth on the largest mirror blew upward, despite no wind. Vanessa screamed. Behind the glass, they saw not their own reflections, but Whitney standing with her back to them, and something wearing her skin. They ran. The ending they deserved. Back at home, Mark burned the CD, deleted the files, and smashed his equipment. But the humming never stopped. His daughter began singing the melody in her sleep. Vanessa disappeared a week later. Marc tried contacting Sony Music, but they denied the session ever happened. No records, no employee named Roland Griggs. And yet a month later, Marc saw a post on a private audio engineering forum. Someone had uploaded a 30-second clip titled, Whitney final ho ai on said. It was the same file. Comments under the post were full of bizarre accounts. People hearing voices, seeing faces in mirrors, suffering seizures. The final comment simply read, She's still recording. The song never ends.